Hi, everyone, and welcome to Experts Live Show happening in November 11 in Dubai. Each week, we're going to bring with us one of our amazing speaker, and today I'm happy and excited to welcome Hazem Ali. Hazem Ali will take us through a journey where he built a solution called Azure Image Studio, and we're going to ask why it's been built, what's behind the scenes. Actually, the solution is very interesting. I've been in internal discussion with Microsoft MVP team, and I saw Hazem is introducing an interesting topic where I thought that it's gonna be very interesting and nice topic to bring it to our audience. And I'm handing over to Hazem. Hazem, all yours.
Hello, and thanks for having me in the show. It's been a while since the last conference at Cognition X at Emirates, Microsoft Emirates. Your session was amazing at the conference at that time. So yeah, basically, for anyone who didn't recognize me or know me, my name is Hazem. I'm a Microsoft AI MVP, principal AI machine learning engineer and architect. All right. Uh, today we're gonna dive into a very important topic and a unique of its kind too. Mahmoud, as AI companies and these kind of startups are blowing people's minds. You saw a lot of SaaS apps, startups, open AI based applications, Azure applications, etc., etc., etc. But to be clear, all of these spam of apps didn't solve a real problem, except for NNN, or to be clear, N8N.
Yeah,
However, yeah, this is the only one solved the real problem, by the way, and it's really interesting. However, today I'm gonna take you through a very very interesting journey. I'm gonna introduce a very powerful and a unique and open source project, and you can have it run on device. And within a seconds, you're gonna enjoy something unique of its kind. Um, Let me begin with slides.
okay,
Oh,
I'm sharing your
like
screen.
this. Oh, by the way, my computer is over there, over here. The camera is over there, so I'm kind of looking my computer. Excuse me for that.
That's fine.
However,
It's all yours.
let's
Yeah, if
have
you
it.
can maximize the screen, it would be
Yeah,
better for the
full
audience.
screen. All right. First of all, this is my QR. If you wanna get in contact with me, I'm accepting everybody. It's kind of insane. Okay, and let's dive in. The project name is Image Studio. A lot of people get confused. Is it belong to Azure or something? No, it's called Image Studio. People are getting confused. Why you are putting Azure on it? Because Azure, we are focusing on Azure, whatever infrastructure, machine learning training, deployments, specifically with Azure ML. And today we're gonna dive in to Azure AI Foundry, which is the
Sorry, just a quick question here, Hazem, which is again interesting because I remember this internal discussion with Microsoft. It was super interesting when it come to Image Studio, where it come from, what actual solution or what problem statement that you are trying to solve. So
yeah.
when it comes to the Image Studio, what
Mhm.
you highlighted right now, it can be built anywhere. It's not really just required to be hosted on Azure. It can be hosted locally. It can be hosted on
Anywhere.
Azure,
It's
any
even
platform.
memorized.
I see. I see. Interesting. So that's super interesting as well. It shouldn't be really just factored as a consumed in a, or restricted to a certain services or certain.
No. We are not looking anybody. But for me, I'm focusing on Azure because it's really powerful platform. That's why I'm encouraging people to try Azure. You know.
I,
However, when we dive into Image Studio, the main focus here, I'm gonna talk about the gaps we solve. But first, let me just introduce it to the audience because people are keep asking right now, what is it, and how I'm gonna benefit from it. Basically, Image Studio, think of it like Canva, but open source. Anybody can contribute, customize, and even run it on device. And why Image Studio? Why? Here is some gaps we are trying to solve. First of all, there is no vendor locking at all because when you compare it to another creative platforms, I'm not gonna mention any names here. Uh, they're gonna lock you with subscriptions, integrations, something like this experience, that makes you locked in into that specific ecosystem or a vendor. All right, and most of important thing here, it's free, so you don't have to pay a thing. Okay, and it's customizable, and it's really 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 powerful. You can customize it to act like, I'm gonna show it to you in action. However, the problems we are solving here is vendor locking and fees. Nobody wants to pay something for these kind of tools because when you think about it, these tools in AI industry, we should have a lot of these kind of tools open source, but we couldn't because I don't know why people didn't even think about that. It's whenever AI engineers, experts, I don't know why they didn't think about that. Why they didn't think about building a powerful tool to compete with leading AI companies that provide this kind of stuff. Okay, and there is another gap here is privacy. Say you have a photo. Everybody has a dark side, okay? And all of us have a privacy, and we kept some photo secrets and this kind of stuff. Sometimes we want to edit these photos or these assets, okay? For me, I'm not gonna upload these photos on a cloud. I don't know how these vendors or companies gonna trade my data, specifically if it's a kind of a family photos. Okay, of course you're gonna ask yourself, what's the difference? You're gonna by the architecture design of image studio, you're gonna send these photos to the cloud. But think about it, where we are here, why this is answer another question about Azure, because when you look into the privacy policy on Azure and how Microsoft treats your data, you're gonna recognize immediately the answer why we are choosing Azure over others. Okay, so instead of giving these assets or these photos to unknown entities, of course, there is a company is well known and they have a strict privacy policy. But for me, I feel a bit comfortable about running it locally. Okay. However, let's talk about something else. Say you are in a flight, an airplane or something, and you have a very limited connectivity. Okay, you can deploy it on device and use it completely offline without even sending data to the cloud. And when we say sending and receiving data between the client and the cloud model, we have an inspector, a built-in inspector inside the project to tell you which data has been sent and which data has been received. Okay, and you can use a lot of tools offline without even using on cloud models, okay? Directly on your browser, okay? And another limitation about vendor about other online entities and these kind of startups, scalability. You sometimes you want to scale with, say you love the project, you contribute on it, and somehow you want to scale with it according to your needs, so you can even clone it customize it on your own specific needs. So you can even scale with it. Okay, and community. This project is maintained, or maybe you can say backed, with expert Microsoft MVPs. And people love to contribute on it because it's something really, really, really unique and powerful. Okay, and let's dive in and see it in action. Hold on, let me close that. Exit full screen.
So we're gonna explore the technology itself, where you're gonna run it
Yeah, I'm
locally
gonna.
in your system, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna run it locally on my system. Let me
Oh,
open
I see. Interesting.
VS
Good.
Code here. I'm trying with something familiar to the people so they can. What is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, allow that. And let's close that. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let's close that. Closing the window. And let's open the project. In a directory and we saved it. Yes. Azure and I was naming it on a first uh, playground or something like that. And here we go. Need to share my screen. Share screen. All right. And let me just. I'm gonna share the entire screen. All right. Let me share that. And here we cloned a version of the project. Of course, there is my internal files and this kind of thing. Uh, the main README file is in here. Where is it? Mm,
Hazem, is there an option to maximize the screen or zoom in a bit? That
What?
uh, the screen is not really clear when it comes to the text and context. Is there an option to zoom in, or that's the
Oh no.
oh I
Okay, hold
mm,
on.
mm,
Um, okay, it's that simple.
mm, mm.
I'm gonna only open a terminal. What I need is just a terminal. I don't need this function.
Okay.
All right. Okay, first of all, the project is cloned. It's that simple. Git clone the repo and then npm install to ensure that everything is
Hazem, if
installed.
you can maximize, because we can see the
Mhm.
system. Well, yes, yeah.
All
Thank you.
right. First of all, we let me have it. Um, it's okay. npm
Mm.
install to install the dependencies, the libraries. Let's have it installed. For sure, I have machine, and then by default we use Husky for pre-commenting and this kind of stuff. Okay, to ensure that meets standards. Okay, and then We're gonna execute npm run dev to run the development server. It's gonna run on localhost at the port 3000. We're gonna have that copy, go here and paste it here. It's loading the configuration first, and then, whoa, when you don't have Azure configured, Azure is the main provider here for AI models. We use Azure AI Foundry and Azure ML. It's gonna ask you to configure your providers, your endpoints, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Here we have at the first log, it's gonna ask you for to customize your experience. Okay. This is general. You can disable, enable animation and developer console, etc., etc. I'm gonna take you right now to the Azure. You're gonna tell yourself, okay, why it asking for a password? Basically, we designed uh, we designed the project to focus on security first. We don't keep API keys on client side. Instead, we are migrated to the server side. And whenever the project needs this data, it's gonna hit a request to the API, which is your API, the
Hazem,
project.
sorry to interrupt. Your camera is black. We cannot see you. For some
Maybe,
reason, it got hacked. Yes, now it work.
and now it didn't work, isn't it?
No, no, now I can see you.
Okay. By
You can.
default, yeah, by default, the default password uh, is located in app config.json. You're gonna find that in documentation here. This is the main website for the app, and here is the docs. This is the documentation about everything. Okay, and by default is 1 2 3 4. I think gonna authenticate, and it tells me that everything is configured. مش عارف إيه. Okay, and let's close that. Oh, by the way, after you configure the Azure settings, which is the main API, API key and endpoints, you can models. Let me explain that. Here is your API key and primary endpoints. Okay, by default, the project is stacked with default endpoints. It's gonna take the primary endpoints and the models. If you can add a lot of endpoints, but because in Azure, maybe a deployment requires a dedicated endpoint which is different from your main endpoints. So we keep that in mind. Okay, and here you can browse Azure model catalog. It's gonna tell you what models, etc., etc. You have here Flux and by Microsoft. You have models from Microsoft, OpenAI, and Black Forest Labs. Okay. However, there is also an asset stores. You can, like Canva. This project has an integrations with assets store, so you can get photos, elements, videos, etc., etc., etc. So all you have to do is configure the stores, which is Unsplash and Pixels with a free API keys, by the way. All integrations here are free. Okay, and in advance you can clear cache, export settings, etc., etc., etc. And here you can have your project up to date. I'm gonna check the latest version on GitHub, and within a click you can get it up to date. Here, maybe I want to generate something, and instead of course, you can import your assets and do whatever you need, and maybe from an asset store like this. You can search what you need, like a boy, for example. And I give you some free assets, okay? And if you don't like these assets, you can ask the model to generate something like, let me close that first. Um, I need some space. Uh, a boy putting an app on a computer. And within a few seconds, you're gonna see your image right into the canvas. Just give it some seconds. And here we go. And say we got our image generated specifically on this is generated on the cloud. Remember when I told you whenever happens on the cloud, it's gonna be you have a way to inspect that. Here there is a button which opens a developer inspector, which tells you what data has been passed and what data has been retrieved from the cloud for transparency. Okay. And of course, we have here layers. My son was playing with my computer, so I have something in the corner. I don't know how to get it away. If you know, guys, just tell me how to do it. Okay, I'm gonna call an IT for that. However, here is a layer you can add text like I love Azure and add text. I can align it right here and do a color styling, etc., etc., etc. And I have this image. Whenever I click at the image, I get a mini toolbar which is containing remove background. This is AI powered by an AI model. And I got filters. Like maybe I like to have this image black and white or dramatic or vintage, cinematic, whatever I like. And even I can add my own filters from the app, from the project. Okay, that's why we are calling for contributors. We want to scale with this project. It's really powerful. Okay, this is for image filtering, and of course you can control colors, effects, etc., 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 etc. Okay, okay. I need the image for now, and for adjustments, if I have to fix something or to enhance portrait, landscape, moody, a lot of powerful tools right in your browser and running locally. Okay, and I forgot to tell you something. I'm sorry. First of all, you're gonna create a project. Let me close that because it has an issue right now with the index. I'm gonna fix that. Okay, you can create projects or even list your projects. Let me.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. Still, your camera is getting suspended. Anyway, just also in relation to the application itself, I can see that behind the scenes is the processing. You highlighted you were calling the API of Azure.
Yeah,
Even you presented the in and out communication.
yeah.
So does it only use Azure AI models, or I can use my local models as well? Is there
You
any
can.
Mm,
Uh, During the development, we have a roadmap. Of
mm.
course, we're gonna support a local models, but the scope
Interesting.
of the project, yeah, it's to be likewhere, like running everywhere. Maybe some user wants to run local models, but for that you have to tweak it with open router, etc., etc., etc. It's gonna
Mm,
be for the performance. Okay, that's why we are just relying on Azure, because it's simple, privacy focused, and that's it. okay? And only for generating and editing, because you can even edit images here. When I select here, like I want to edit, I forgot even where is the edit mode. Uh, what is the edit mode? Maybe
Can
that.
you try also to reshare your
Ah,
camera and your screen? Because again, both of them are getting disconnected. Or I
what
think
about?
maybe you can move the project to another browser, because looks like the project and the screen are getting impacting each other.
Maybe. Hold on. That's Safari's. Do first. All right. So,
Yeah,
okay, I thought you.
now it is better.
Of what?
Hmm.
Matching the live. I need to configure it here. So because it saves that on cookies and this kind of stuff. So however, let's remain on Chrome. Okay, from here I can edit the image, like add um, a cup of coffee. It's gonna we have a bug gonna be fixed maybe today or tomorrow. However, we here have auto sync. Whatever you have on the project, it's gonna be auto sync, because in our roadmap we are implementing real-time collaboration. What does it mean for that? Here you have a project URL. When you deploy the project on your own server, you can have your friends collaborate with you in real time. We are working on that to implement that specific functionality. We're gonna have a sockets and some tweaks to make it performing well. And in the tools, we have our tools, canvas size. I can even resize the canvas like like that. It's gonna ask me if, because we got some error when we try to edit the image. However, gonna be fixed. Let me try the background removal. Processing the image. All right, preparing the image. Oh, it tried, but this is depends on which model you are using for editing and background. And for sure, you can specify that from here. You're going to settings and app settings, search app config, and configure how you want the app to treat editing, prompting, generating everything from here. And later on, we're gonna have that on setting dialog. And of course, you can share and change the theme to work light on dark, or even use my system I like dark mode. When you switch to, when you rely on dark mode, you cannot switch back. Okay, and from here, this little button, you can open the settings. For sure, we are working on improving the project, and we are looking forward for collaborations. Open sourcing projects is something good, sharing knowledge. Be passionate about sharing knowledge is something really beautiful. That's why you can, if you are passionate about collaboration or collaborating to projects, just join us, collaborate with us. And that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the show, and for sure, you can from this website, IMGST, It stands for Image Studio. The dev, you can clone it and go to the repo from here. This is the main repo containing the documentation, etc., etc., etc. I encourage you to always rely on a stable, because the main branch, we are keeping pushing updates to the main branch, so keep the stable version for you. Okay, unless you are an experienced developer and you want to collaborate, okay, you can, okay, you down the main branch, it's open source, and you are welcome to collaborate with us. And that's it, Mahmoud.
Thank you, Hadim. It was a really interesting session. Actually, I'm really planning to do my testing on the Azure VM. I can see behind the scenes that you are pulling the Foundry APIs and then you are consuming it
Uh-huh.
locally.
Mhm.
In my plan, I will try to totally host all the services all in one. So I will use Azure Compute Services plus the Foundry and try to play around between both of them. But it's pretty interesting. I can see it's very fast as well. You were
Uh-huh.
consuming the internet bandwidth, but it was responding fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, the question, to be honest, related to the collaboration, which is you already highlighted. So you are open for the contribution, and anyway, it's open source at the end. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So just when it comes to the documentation, there is very interesting question, which is I think it was raised as well in the Microsoft community emails and groups as well.
Mhm.
How you reach it to this level of documentation, because it looks fancy, it's very well structured, and it
Yeah.
target the point.
Yeah, basically, the idea of that project. My wife asked me, "What if if you are an AI engineer and I want something for you to develop for me? I want to design some assets and this kind of stuff." Because I told her,
Mm,
don't rely on outsource these cloud
mm,
things
mm,
about
mm,
building assets. I told her, okay, I'm an AI engineer, not a developer. There is a main difference here, okay?
mm,
Because as you know, in Arabic, in the whole world, when you say that I'm an AI engineer or an architect or something related to an AI, people think that, okay, so you got to know how to use ChatGPT or something. So this is the same. Okay, I told
mm,
her, okay, in the past, I have a very strong experience in software development and software engineering. So I told her, okay, we made it within like three days, I think, and then I told her I'm gonna open source it, so anybody can benefit from it. Okay, and the idea that I sent a mail on some connections.
mm,
Somehow people from Microsoft jumped in, and a lot of connections. They liked the somehow a lot of guys from Microsoft liked the idea, and a lot of people started to contribute, maybe internally
mm,
contribute, not
mm,
only on GitHub. Okay, and somehow it also got featured in the community of Azure AI Foundry on Discord. Okay, so it's show and tell. Anybody can go there and read everything, and for sure people are started to share, talk about it, and I'm really happy. And people gonna ask me, what's your benefits? My benefits is designing something really good for free. Everybody can contribute on it. It's think of it like, if you are a passionate developer or software engineer, whatever you are in on your technological area, and you have a deep understanding how passion is, what is passion, how to be passionate about something. You're gonna make the impossible possible, and that's
I
it.
yeah,
So
valid,
yeah.
valid. Yeah, I can see comments from some followers highlighting that they hope that that session was in Arabic. Unfortunately, we were targeting wider audience, and it was meant to be focused on Express Life Emirates, which is most of the audience are coming from the Middle East, which is non-Arab. That's why we converted that discussion to Arabic.
Mhm.
ولكن ان شاء الله يعني لنا لقاء اخر مع حازم ومع الكوميونتي باللغه العربيه. وان شاء الله يكون اللقاء حافل بالاهتمام برضو. وبنعتذر لو كان اللقاء مش as expected when it comes to the English، بس للأسف كنا بنحاول بس نوصل المعلومة ل wider audience. ده حد من الشباب من عندك يا دكتور حازم؟
هو انا I'm very sorry that this انا بعتذر لو first of all I'm gonna speak in Arabic because most of Arabic people don't are commenting why this session is being in English not in Arabic, so I'm going to respond to them. Basically اول حاجه احنا كان التارجت اودينس عندنا مش يعني حبينا اللي هو يكون وايدر اكتر. تمام. طبعا بيشرفني اللي احنا هنعمل سيشن تانية باللغه العربيه، وانا باذن الله هعمل لايفات تانية باللغه العربيه. تمام. ويشرفني جدا ان انتوا تكونتريبيوتوا في المشروع ده. المشروع ده فعلا قوي، عايزين نعمل حاجه فعلا نفتخر بيها زي ما الناس كلها بتتكلم. خلينا نعمل حاجه يعني تكون مفتوحه المصدر، آه، بحيث يكون لينا وزن على صعيد عالمي كمجتمع عربي. انا للمره التانية بعتذر لو السيشن دي بالانجلش، باذن الله اوعدكم باكتر من سيشن بالعربي. ما انتوا عارفين لما حد بيقول لي عايز كذا عايز كذا انا بطلع بالعربي عادي لايف. تمام. فيعني اقدر مره كده انجلش. اوكي. So yeah.
اوكي. شكرا جدا يا حازم. Thanks for your time and looking forward for seeing you in Experts Life Emirates in Dubai إن شاء الله.
Inshallah, I'll be there. I'll try. But I will be there. I'll be there.
إن
Okay.
شاء الله. يلا. Thank
Inshallah.
you. Have a great day. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. مع السلامة.